After hoops, Tiger Woods and Justin Thomas are part of a star-studded field who'll tee it up at the famed Riviera Country Club in the Genesis Open. But we begin our day with Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, which starts right now.
Here we go. Does it get any better than this? Big time jam! Oh, how nasty! Spectacular! You better believe it!
All right, welcome to Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, with you for the next 30 minutes, along with Wally Zerbiak and Seth Davis. And it was another interesting week in college basketball as we get closer to Selection Sunday, Wall.
I'm going to start with Tuesday night. Duke's fantastic freshmen continue to amaze. Down 23 points on the road at Louisville. What do? They come back and win. They complete the biggest comeback in the second half of Coach K's career. I'm beginning to believe there's nothing that those freshmen can't do on a basketball floor.
And that was in the last 9 minutes. So because of their defense, I'm becoming a believer in Duke as well. Hey, everyone's going to be talking about the weakness of the bubble. The bubble looks awful every year, but this is a year where I think it behooves the committee to reach out to those mid-major schools, the Woffords, the Belmonts, the Lipscombs of the world, Utah State, because some of the major conferences are not stepping up, and we don't need to see those mediocre teams in the field.
Well, there's a lot of them. Let's focus on our game now between Oklahoma State and Texas. The Cowboys won the first meeting, but it wasn't easy. They watched the 19-point lead wither away, but held on in the end.
Top of the key to Waters, 3 to shoot, shoots up the jumper and hits it as a shot clock buzzer went off. In the lane to McGriff with a slam. Waters, 3 right wing, and he hits it. Cowboys 17-point lead over Texas.
Bounces underneath Hayes, a slam dunk. Shaka Smart says, let's go. Coleman, driving to the hoop, off the glass, he scores. Longhorns within a point.
3 seconds, hands it off to Ramey. Ramey, 3-pointer from the top of the key, no good. Cowboys win. Cowboys take down Texas.
The escape at home, but since that win over Texas, Seth, the Cowboys have fallen on some hard times.
So January 16th, they had to dismiss 3 players from the team, none of their leading scorers, but 3 guys on the team for violating university policy off the court, and then they had another injury. So since then, they've lost 6 out of 7. But, they did a good job in that game against Texas with their 3-point defense. The Longhorns shot 2 for 22 from behind the arc. And Lindy Waters is playing today. He was 5 for 5. So you shoot the basketball, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of games.
Yeah, trying to snap a 7-game conference skid. Now, when it comes to the Longhorns, don't let the record influence your opinion of the overall resume, Wally. Some impressive wins on there.
Yeah, they got off to a slow start, but look at that column with those big-time wins. North Carolina, Kansas, at Kansas State, Purdue, and also throw in a Baylor win. Number 2 strength of schedule, only behind Kansas as far as strength of schedule in the country. Shaka Smart has these guys balling. They have the ability to beat anyone in the college basketball landscape. They are securely in the NCAA tournament right now.
All right, we're going to see them in a few minutes. Meanwhile, a Big 12 matchup already underway. Oklahoma, who's been sliding after an 11-1 start. They've lost 5 in a row, but their games with TCU always seem to be close. 22-20 the score right now, with the Horned Frogs on top, thanks to 8 points from J.D. Miller. Their last 3 meetings decided by a combined 6 points. A big day, as always, on a Saturday here.
Huge game. Cyclones at Kansas State. Kansas State has to defend their home court if they want to win the Big 12 regular season conference championship.
We're going to debate whether they're the team or not a little later in the show, but right now they are a game and a half up in the Big 12. Seth, how many teams go into the tournament for you?
Well, I like 7 out of this league. It could end up being 6. I've seen some projections at 8 with Oklahoma in there. You're talking about a team that's 3-9, maybe 3-10 after today. Their best win is at home against Wofford. The Sooners don't even belong in the conversation.
Ooh, well, they are slipping, just like they did down the stretch last year. But we're getting ready for Oklahoma State. And Lindy Waters III's getting ready for the Longhorns. The junior guard had 19 points, 5 of 5 from 3 in the Cowboys' win over Texas back in January. When we come back, it's time for our full court press. Will the Wildcats be the team to end their rivals' 14-year Big 12 title run? And can these Wildcats end Tennessee's 19-game winning streak? The guys are on the clock next. Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, is sponsored by Progressive. Get slam dunk savings today. Visit progressive.com. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Try our game day menu. All right, welcome back to Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. The Longhorns' Kerwin Roach II's getting ready to face the Cowboys. The senior guard leads Texas in scoring at nearly 15 points per game. On the other side, Cameron McGriff's been stuffing the stat sheet for Oklahoma State this season. The junior forward leading the Cowboys in scoring and rebounding with nearly 14 points and 8 boards per game. Time now for our full court press, where the guys get 30 seconds combined, I'll remind you, to answer some of the sport's most pressing questions.
Tell him, he's the one.
Yeah, first up, Kansas State started 0-2 in Big 12 play, but they've reeled off 9 straight conference wins, have 2 fewer losses than anyone in the league. Is K-State the team that finally ends Kansas's 14-year run with at least a share of the Big 12 crown, Wally?
Yes, I said it from the beginning when Azubuike got hurt. There's not enough front court depth for Kansas, and the way Kansas State is playing and defending their home court, all their experience, they're one of the hottest teams in the country, 9 straight. K-State is winning the Big 12.
Keep in mind, Kansas State still has to play at Kansas. So for all intents and purposes, it's actually a 1-game lead in the loss column, and I can't get there. We've seen this movie too many times. Remember, the streak includes sharing the conference title, and that streak will remain intact somehow, some way.
Somehow, some way. Ooh, I don't know. Our next topic hits on one of the 3 non-Power 6 conference teams that currently occupies a spot in the AP Top 10. The Houston Cougars are 24-1 and entered the AP Top 10 earlier this week for the first time since the Phi Slama Jama run ended back in 1984. The Cougs have nice wins over LSU and Cincinnati, but what's the ceiling for this American Conference team, Seth?
Well, the ceiling is the 2 line, and that's the big question. Can they get to the 2 line? If they win out, I think, Wally, they'd have a good chance at that, but they're going to need either Michigan or Michigan State to continue one or the other, if not both, to kind of fall below, because the rest of their schedule is not as strong as it is for those Big Ten teams.
Kelvin Sampson up for National Coach of the Year. He's done a phenomenal job. I think they're going to get to the 2 line. I don't think they're going to falter. This team plays on the defensive end of the floor. They have Final Four potential. That's how good I think they are.
Wow.
With their shooters and flamethrowers out on the perimeter, Amani Brooks and Corey Davis Jr.
I like it. A ceiling beyond selection Sunday there. For our next topic, controversy. We go back to Tuesday and number 5 Kentucky's home loss to 19th ranked LSU. There it is with the score tied. Final possession. LSU's Cavell Bigby-Williams tips it in just before the buzzer. The problem is the ball was still in the cylinder and should not have counted. Replay determined that the shot beat the clock, but basket interference, not a reviewable play. Should it be? 30 seconds.
It should not be, and it breaks my heart to say it because it cost the Kentucky Wildcats an opportunity to get it into overtime. But at some point, you got to allow judgment calls to be judgment calls. You can't blow the whistle in that situation if that was in the field of play, and the game would continue. So you got to put it on the referee's shoulders. They got to make that call and get it right.
The same people who are complaining that that play is not reviewable are also complaining that there are too many replay delays. I mean, do we need more delays in these games? When, not if, when I am czar of college basketball, there will be no replay reviews, because all of the delays is not worth it for the small amount of time that this is applicable. If you replay a goaltending call, there's too much else going on afterwards. It's too messy.
I'm upset we only have 30 seconds to discuss this.
That was a good one.
Injustice. All right, last but not least, the SEC showdown between number 1 Tennessee and 5th ranked Kentucky tonight. The Vols are looking to extend their school record winning streak to 20. Keep in mind, their only loss came in overtime almost 3 months ago. The Wildcats have won 10 of 11 and need a win to stay in contention for an NCAA Tournament 1 seed. Seth, will Kentucky snap Tennessee's win streak tonight?
Absolutely, positively, yes. I think I like Kentucky largely because they're at home tonight. They're coming off the loss to LSU. If you look at Tennessee's schedule, I know Tennessee fans would like to hear this, it's not easy to find really high-quality wins for Tennessee. They're going down tonight.
I'm going to say absolutely, positively, not I think, I know. Kentucky wants this game. They're going to get this game on their home floor. They're going to come out like a ball of fire after that loss against LSU. John Calipari's got everyone against his team now because they should have won that game because of the reviewable call. Kentucky gets the win tonight.
If you're wrong because of a basket interference call, you're going to want that review back. All right, when we come back, Wally and Seth are going to pick their NCAA All-Star teams in a playground-style draft. Not quite LeBron and Giannis, but it's sure to entertain. This is Inside College Basketball presented by Progressive Insurance.
Some of the biggest names in the sport are battling for the title at historic Riviera. It's the Genesis Open, later today on CBS.
And there's a look at Matt Coleman III, who leads Texas in assists. The sophomore from Norfolk, Virginia, also dishes in today's 20-second drill.
Matt Coleman, point guard, University of Texas. My real name is Clifford. I have a mom and a dad. I have a younger brother that'd be a senior in high school. Don't like roller coasters, don't like snakes, can't swim. like to cook sometimes, but I'm not the best cooker. I love shoes, and I love making money by selling shoes. So.
Wally, you're a good cooker.
Not really, but I do like roller coasters, and so do my kids.
All right, get them on there. Some off-season plans with the Zerbiaks. All right, look, the NBA is in the midst of celebrating its All-Star weekend, and we decided to play along. What if we had our own old-school playground-style NCAA All-Star draft? And who better than Wally and Seth to captain those teams? Now, I'm told, I did not witness the apparent coin toss, but I am told that you won.
Well, and in this particular draft, that coin toss is really prohibitive and determinative. By the way, we're also the coaches, so my team has that huge advantage. But our biggest advantage is the Z-Man, Zion Williamson. Wally, I will take his 22 points, 9 rebounds a game. How does a guy who's a freshman, mind you, average 22 points a game and shoots 68% from the floor? By the way, he rebounds, he blocks shots, he steals, and he's going to get us a ton of Instagram followers. So basically, you've lost the draft based on my coin flip.
But you have Instagram followers.
Yes, you were lucky to get that #1 pick, and I would have liked to have seen that televised, the coin flip. But I will take his teammate, R.J. Barrett, as the #2 pick in the draft. He's leading the ACC in scoring. This freshman is completely dominating the national scene of college basketball. Lights it up from downtown, too. Did you see his game against Virginia? The vaunted Virginia defense had no chance against this flamethrower. I'm going R.J. Barrett with my first pick.
Okay, so I got a high-level scorer. I need someone to help get him the ball, and nobody in college basketball gets his teammates the ball better than Ja Morant from Murray State. He leads the nation in assists, but he's also 10th in the nation in scoring, so he's going to have to accept not scoring quite as many points, but he can finish. Hey, I got the 2 best dunkers in college basketball on my team, and so he's going to be a good catch-and-shoot guy, and he keeps the paint open, can distribute the ball, lots of perfect alley-oop lobs to my #1 pick, Zion.
I'm going point guard, and I'm going Marcus Howard. Have you seen this guy light up the scoreboard lately? An absolute flamethrower. He's averaging 35 points a game against ranked teams. Averages 25 points a game. You cannot guard him in a one-on-one situation. I want 3-point shooters. The analytics in college basketball say you got to shoot the 3. My first 2 picks, they are flamethrowers from the 3-point line.
He's got 2 volume shooters. He's already
high percentage 3-point shooters. You have no 3-point shooters.
All you think about is shooting. So, okay. Now, I love Ethan Happ of Wisconsin. He's one of the best power forwards in the country. But I got Ja and I got Zion. I don't want someone clogging the lane, but I need a front court guy. Grant Williams from Tennessee is my guy. Why? Because he can go inside and outside. He leads the SEC in points per game. He's also 6th in the league in rebounding. A little bit undersized, but perfect for today's pace and space. Look, he can step out behind the 3-point line. He can score on the block, so I can move him out. He won't get in Zion's way. He won't get in John Morant's way. This is team building, Wally. You should take notes about what I'm doing here. Very high level.
I'm taking notes. You take the undersized guy. I'll take the oversized athletic guy in Ryu Hachimura. Out west from Gonzaga, he has been balling. Not too many people hear about what he's been up to. Shoots over 60% from the floor, an athletic phenomenon. He neutralized Zion Williamson, and he's going to guard Zion Williamson in this game and shut him down like he did. They got the win against Duke out there in Maui. So I got Zion's kryptonite, and that is Ryu Hachimura in matchups.
I love Rui. That's a solid pick by Wally, but okay. Same concept, not only on the offensive end, Adam. I like defensive versatility. I want to switch guys a lot out of screens. So I'm going to go out west to the Mountain West and pick Jordan Sweet Caroline as my 4th pick from Nevada. A lot of people don't know about him. He's a walking double-double, averaging 19 and 10, and he's made 39 3-pointers this season, shooting 44% from behind the arc. He's big, he's strong, he's a finisher. So again, I got a great highlight crew, but I got guys who are versatile on both ends of the floor. That's what you need to win in today's game.
I like that pick, and I'm going to go along the same lines with versatility and a little defense. My teams are going to have to play a little defense.
Like
much to a chagrin of you, much to a surprise. I'm going with
the first time I've ever heard him say that word.
DeAndre Hunter from Virginia. He is a lockdown defender in the mold of Leonard. Also shoots the 3-pointer at 45% clip, has been lights out from downtown. Notice all my guys can shoot it from deep. They're going to spread you out. They're going to light you up from the 3-point line. DeAndre Hunter can guard all 5 positions positions on the floor for me and lock down every one of your guys because you don't have enough shooters. I'm going with DeAndre Hunter, my fourth pick.
Anybody passing the ball on your team, by the way? Or they'll play volleyball where everyone's just a volume shooter. So my fifth pick, very difficult decision for me between Cassius Winston and Carson Edwards. I'm going with Cassius Winston. He's a little bit more of a distributor. I think he's going to fit in more with my guys. Carson Edwards is a little bit of a volume shooter. I don't think we quite need another one of those. And let me tell you something. I've always loved, Wiley, teams that have 2 point guards. Cassius Winston is definitely a point guard, but both Winston and Morant can score, so they're interchangeable. Whichever the matchup I want to exploit, we're going to take advantage.
Another big assist guy for you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going undersized. I'm going with Dedrick Lawson, the double-double machine. 16 double-doubles already on the season. Averages 19 and 10 for Kansas. There is no way that this guy cannot score. He can do it from the three-point line. I can post him. You're going to have to double him or he's going to kill you in the post. Going to open up all my shooters outside. I got a plan for my squad, and my squad complements each other perfectly, and you're going down.
Yeah, for all the smack being talked, I guess you don't want to make one of those post-draft trades.
No, I like my guys.
I am very happy with my team.
I like my people.
I love my guys.
We have a huge coaching advantage, a huge bench advantage.
Yeah, but
huge experience on a basketball floor advantage over here.
Hey, can't back one out, buddy.
I know, I saw.
Can you reach your chin? I think you have the chin advantage.
I do.
Are we twins? Like,
no, you're not.
I gotta look at the guy.
All right, let the water cooler talk continue. You can vote on who you think picked the best team on Twitter at CBS Sports. I'm going with Wally here.
I love it.
A reminder, a full slate of men's college hoops action over on CBS Sports Network today, beginning with Army-Navy at 2:30 Eastern, then it's LaSalle at St. Louis, followed by Boise State taking on San Diego State. And we're getting closer to tip-off for Oklahoma State and Texas. There's junior guard Thomas DeZagua, one of a trio of Cowboys averaging double figures in scoring this season. You're watching Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance on CBS. Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, is sponsored by Progressive. Get slam dunk savings today. Visit progressive.com. And by Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. All right, back one more time before tip-off and getting you caught up on some games already underway. Beginning with a top 25 matchup in the Big Ten. Maryland does not do well on the road against ranked teams, and Michigan reminding them, Seth.
Yeah, Michigan coming off that tough loss at Penn State, getting out on the break. The offense is really clicking, and Maryland, it looked like, was not going to be able to score at all early on. But give John Beilein's team credit. They've gone on a nice run and been able to control this game from the beginning.
Indeed.
Tough to beat at home.
Very tough. 21 straight wins going back to last year. Maryland just 18 points in the first half. They have not defeated a ranked team on the road since 2008, a span of 26 straight games. And so Michigan flexing some muscle here.
They are, and I was surprised by the Michigan loss at Penn State, but it just goes to show you, game planning in the Big 12, it's tough to win, in the Big 10, excuse me, it's tough to win on the road, and not having John Beilein on the sidelines, I think, really hurt Michigan in that game at Happy Valley.
I was a little less surprised than a lot of people that Beilein got ejected. He's a little underrated in terms of his ability to work the refs. Usually is able to control his emotions a little bit better. So I think Maryland walking into a little bit of a buzzsaw coming off their win at home against Purdue. Maryland is the 4th youngest team in the country, so still getting better. It's hard to beat ranked teams on the road. Breaking news.
You were surprised, though, huh? 40 years.
It's a long
I was surprised he got.
You're cool.
I was surprised he got ejected. I was surprised he lost his school. I was not surprised that he was riding the refs. He's really good at it.
Ah, well, there you go. He's really good at it. Okay, let's go to the ACC, and Wake Forest hosting number 8 North Carolina. You don't want to host North Carolina. They don't lose on the road in conference play, Wally, and they're off to a fast start here.
Yeah, Kenny Williams with the steal. 12-0 lead to start the game. That's how you get ready for a 12 p.m. start. How about Kobe White knocks down the deep 3? They were up 32-7 on the road. Kobe White again lays it in and gets fouled. The lead continues to grow. It was 27 at that point, and Cam Johnson extends it. Look at that. That's a throttle job by Carolina.
Indeed, 74% from the field in the first half. 5-0 in conference road games. Just not the season that Danny Manning either was hoping to have.
Yeah, he had a rough offseason where he lost a couple of his players, but Carolina is rounding into form. They're not a great defensive team. They don't attack the rim on either end, Wally, as they have in the past. Don't have those giants on the front line, but they have a lot of guys who can really score. And this freshman, Kobe White, as a big scoring, fast point guard, is really fitting nicely in Chapel Hill.
I love the way this Carolina team bounced back from that head-scratching loss a couple weeks ago at home against Louisville by double double digits. They just really didn't play well, but they bounced back and are playing great ball in the best conference in college basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah, and speaking of Louisville, big question was how would they bounce back after that collapse against Duke, blowing that huge lead the other night with just 9 minutes left. So trying to avoid their third straight home loss. They haven't done that in decades. And a fast start here against Louisville, against Clemson, rather, the block leading to points, Seth.
Yeah, Dwayne Sutton with the 2. It started with the block from Stephen Enoch. He's a good inside-outside offensive player, but Clemson really needs a quality win to bolster its NCAA tournament chances, and they've acquitted themselves well. You're going to see Clyde Trapp nailing the 3 as time expires. So Clemson with the 4-point lead. And Adam, I think you hit it on the head. I think blowing that lead at home to Duke has Louisville a little bit shell-shocked. Look, Chris Mack's done an amazing job, and I think he's maximized their ability as well as any team in the country so far. The schedule has helped them a little bit. It is not a very talented team outside of Jordan Orr. They don't have a player who I think of as a high-level ACC player. So they've gotten a lot out of what they've had so far, and you almost feel like the rubber's hitting the road a little bit.
I'm with you, and that was exposed down the stretch of that game. When it comes to crunch time, your players have to shine and take over. There's only so much Chris Mack can do as far as game planning and getting his teams to finish that game and get that win. And Nora's the only guy that can go get a bucket at the end of the game. Duke knew that, and they took that away.
Yeah, Wara double figures in 10 straight games. But remember, they were overachieving until that moment in the Duke game when they were up by 23. Okay, in the SEC, meanwhile, Auburn facing Vanderbilt. The Tigers looking to snap their little 2-game conference skid, taking on a Vanderbilt team that has not won a conference game all year.
Yep, Purifoy hits the jumper. Auburn takes the early lead, but then Vandy comes back. Aaron Nesmith knocks down that shot, and Vandy takes the lead, and the 3 ball's going for Matt Ryan. All Vandy right now, they were up 3 at that point, but here comes Auburn coming back. Auburn a little bit underachieving. Malik Dunbar with the dunk. They need to take care of business, get this win on the road, get back to 500 in the SEC.
And they're 1-5 on the road, so that easier said than done there for your prescriptions, sir. Meanwhile, back to the Big 12 matchup, and Kwatnoy for TCU out with an ankle injury suffered in practice. He had 30 in their first meeting with Oklahoma, but an early lead here.
Oh, my goodness, J.D. Miller hates ribs. And then Kendrick Davis, no relation to yours truly, going to hit the nice floater there. And Christian Doolittle will answer for Oklahoma. Oklahoma, as I mentioned early in the show, does not look to me like an NCAA tournament team. Should they lose this one, they go to 3-10, and you can't lose that one anyway against a team that doesn't have Kwatnoy.
I'm with you. They better start winning some games. 3-9 teams shouldn't even be sniffing a chance into the NCAA tournament.
I know. You guys made that point very firmly earlier, by the way. However, there are results that are already in from the day. We already had our draft. Team Seth versus Team Wally. And look at the, it's the Zion factor, kids.
It's early.
He's pulling away. Early precincts are in.
No, we haven't gotten to the other states' votes.
That's basically based on coach.
You think you're going to do well on the West Coast?
Yes.
Only so many Virginia fans voting for DeAndre Hunter for you.
Any final thoughts before tip-off here?
Kerwin Roach, he's been balling. 17 points per game his last 5. He's got to get going again at home. Texas takes care of business.
All right, Cowboys at the Longhorns next. Spiro Dedes and Clark Kellogg on the call after this message. And a word from your local station. See you at halftime.